All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. I do see people waiting. I see people in chat. Yes, indeed. Lots to talk about today. Holy shit. RFK Jr., that's definitely going to be on the docket. I wonder why. The Onion supposedly buying Infowars, but we're not exactly sure. There appears to be a court order now, and a judge is looking into the sale for various reasons. I'm not exactly sure what's happening with that one, so we're going to be talking about that. It's confusing to me. I don't even understand exactly what's going on with that particular sale. Inflation is rising, which is predictable because, of course, if it eases off in the prior year, you would expect if it's linear, it's going to continue. They will blame Trump for this, by the way. I will try to explain. Unfortunately, the archive for the Los Angeles sanctuary city story is not loading at the moment. And I'm trying to get it to load, but it doesn't seem to want to do so. I'm doing the bloody best that I can, but we'll cover it anyway. I can always go to the original article. Harris Surrogate says Joe Biden gave a big fuck you to fellow Democrats with Kamala endorsement. Yes, it appears that Joe Biden may actually have screwed the Democratic Party after they screwed him, which is deserved and hilarious. And also pesticides linked to prostate cancer. Yeah, unfortunately, they're also linked to a bunch of other negative health effects. So we're going to cover all of that and much, much more, of course. I'm going to try to go a little bit longer today, since I had a fairly short stream the other day. And it's Friday. Yes, indeed. Wild man, it's MAGA Friday. Absolutely. TGIF. I've got to do some more raking later. I piled those leaves out in the garden, but of course I don't have nearly enough of them. Once I rake out the entire woodlot, it should be roughly enough for the plans that I have in mind. Got to feed the worms, you know? Texan Patrick P. Yesterday, I said the BTR debate started at noon MST. Sticks misunderstood me and cut the live stream short. My apologies to everyone for depriving us of more sticks. I should have adjusted time zone to EST. You actually were not wrong. What happened is Armand actually couldn't make it, and so we had to punt it to the next week. So the first time we were going to debate, I had to punt it because I forgot that I had other things I had to do at the same time. And now Armand did. So we're looking into next week at what time we can get on there. Tigers are my totem. $5. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is still not loading. There's a big problem with this particular archive for no apparent reason. Let me see if I can get a live version. Los Angeles releases draft of sanctuary city ordinance. Okay, we're going to cut the archive loose, and I'm going to have to use the live version, unfortunately. Castiel 2080. Okay, Owlman. Trump won with a full sweep. When are you starting your Jim Bro arc? Well, I am taking certain supplements at the moment. Brandon Herrera, a.k.a. Guy, for ATF director. I think you mean Herrera. Yes, indeed. That would be great. Why is everyone talking about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Isn't there a fight tomorrow or something like that? I'm Team Tyson. Here's my theory. If Mike Tyson can knock it out in the first 3 rounds or 4 rounds, something like that, he's got it made. Mike Tyson, you don't want to fuck with him, but he's older. And so if Jake Paul is more avoidant and sort of dances around him and doesn't engage directly, eventually Mike Tyson will get more tired. Simply because he's older. Didn't he slap Jake Paul, actually? And he was laughing about it. It's tonight. Yeah, I'm Team Tyson on that one. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson for multiple reasons. It's not that Jake Paul's not a bro dude. He seems pretty cool. No offense to him, but you're going up against Mike Tyson. If Tyson does manage to hammer you in the face a couple of times in the first few rounds, you're going down. It does not matter that he is 30 years older. Have you seen that dude in training? Holy fucking shit. We might as well bant too, because I want to go a little bit longer today. So if you want to talk about Mike Tyson, we can do that too. What I really need to do is get like a dump button and get like a phone show going here. I really want people to be able to weigh in and actually like, voice things to me instead of just doing the chat. Because I mean, people that are watching live, they can see chat maybe, but they can't hear exactly what people are saying. Three Metal Beacon, likelihood that Melania is actually the one responsible for the attempts on her husband's life so she doesn't have to go through 4 more years of abuse by the corporate media. 0% chance. Now, Melania, I do believe that she and Donald have a loving relationship. It's just one that the legacy media pretends not to understand. It's called a power couple. Sean P., what are your views on Trump's Great American State Fair plans in Iowa in 2025? I will be attending if I can. I think that it's a grand idea. It's going to be great. Griven Share, I've never seen so many lefty Democrats depressed that World War III and the Boogaloo have been postponed indefinitely. The shift in the middle has also been so great you've turned into a twink. Oh my God. Yeah, now I keep getting gay comments now that I don't have a beard. I don't understand it. People think that I look younger and more attractive without the beard. I like myself with the goatee. Cultivated Mind. All you gardeners and farmers, go check out http://r-soil.com on Tuesday for a free live stream on how to regenerate your soil. Healthy soil equals healthy people. Peace. Agreed. I'm regenerating some soil in the garden right now by dumping leaves in between the rows. It's going to take a little while. What do fuck? Where are our fall garden prep videos? I need inspiration. I'm probably not going to do any till next year because I've got so many other things to do. But basically what you do is you rake up the leaves and shit. You pile it in between the beds. The worms fucking love it. And it suppresses grass growth. Yeah, I mean, some people think I look better with the beard and some people without it. It's just hit or miss. I don't understand. Dark. Melania and Baron Trump are from Inner Earth. Yes, Agartha. The only reason that I shaved my beard off is I wanted to regenerate like the goatee area. The problem is normally I'd shave everything else and I keep the goatee. And that's perfectly fine for a few months. But then it starts getting scraggly and then you have to trim it and it takes a lot of time and I just don't have the time to do that. What the fuck? Yes, clean face. Either wedding, funeral, or court date. Lol. Yeah, no beard regeneration in this case. Lord Voldemort. I'm concerned RFK will ban McDonald's for being unhealthy, and if he does this, I'm voting Democrat. Commander Jorgen. Sticks, I got a new pet cat. Can I get a clank for her? Her name is Yuna. Clanking for Yuna. I don't have a spoon at the moment. Actually, I don't even have that little commemorative spoon that I had behind me. My apologies. Congratulations to new kitty, though. Xander plays video games. Good morning from Arizona. Is there any hope left for my state in terms of elections? Kind of hard to believe that so many people voted for Trump, but not Lake. Yes, I mean, she did well. She should be the she should be in the White House as effectively press secretary. She would run rings around the legacy media. Unfortunately, based on the list that I saw, she's not really being considered. I think that Trump may be overlooking a real big gift. It would be hilarious. Scott Steiner. I like RFK's regulatory promises. Label seed oils as dangerous, banning artificial dough risers, banning more artificial preservatives and dyes, encouraging companies to use coconut oil or animal fats. I support those. Dag Nabbit 32 Sticks. I'm currently trying to get rid of some of the local bureaucracy in my town. Any tips? Yeah, play the long game because it's going to take a while. You have to attract attention first. Get together with some other local yokels, people that are eccentric and like to make signs and shit like that. And, just raise hell. Illegally, of course. Patrick Foley. Everyone knows you shaved in preparation for tossing salads at the gay bar. Let me take you to the gay bar. I like that song. Hilarious. Sam McGray, what do you think about the idea that Matt Gaetz is a big ass? I agree with that concept. He's going to parlay Gaetz over or do a recess appointment and try to extract tribute from the Senate Republicans specifically. Last speaking, hey Sticks, ping us. Also, I'm kind of amazed about how the Democrats and the left losing their minds over the postponement of World War III. Yeah, they couldn't wait to be irradiated. What do fuck? What about the Pennsylvania Senate recount with extra ballots? Are they legit ballots, or is this some sort of Dem thievery? It is definitely Dem thievery, but it's probably not going to pan out. Shelly Babe, Sticks, you look hot with or without. Thank you. I don't get complimented enough. Just saying. Maybe I should shave it off to a Hitler stash. Really piss off the leftoids. Anyways, let's get to the news here. First and foremost, with RFK Jr.'s appointment for HHS. I'm going to read Trump's post here verbatim. This is on his official account. So at first, I thought it wasn't real. I thought, okay, this is too much to ask for. You know, Lee Zeldin in EPA, Tulsi Gabbard for Intel. Those are already really great wins, right? You know, you got Haig Seth for what it's worth and a few others. That's pretty good. Burgum has been chosen. But now it is official. RFK Jr. has been tapped to run HHS. Let's read this verbatim. This is Donald in his own words. And he probably actually makes his own tweets, unlike most other people in D.C. I am thrilled to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services, or HHS. For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everyone will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in this country. Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end the chronic disease epidemic and to make America great and healthy again. This has absolutely crushed the minds of the leftoids. They can't even comprehend it, basically, because they've cast off RFK Jr. as he's a Russian asset. He wants people to die and stuff like he's a conspiracy theorist. He's not, though. Some of his ideas are more wonky, but there are some ideas that are absolutely true. I covered this morning. Like, you think back to when my core audiences, we're all in our 30s, basically, mid-20s to mid-40s in that sweet spot. So you can probably remember a time when the FDA's food pyramid was carb heavy. The basis of any healthy diet is an entire loaf of Wonder Bread every single day. Empty carbs, nothing but sugar, basically, when it's converted by your saliva. And it turns out that that wasn't such a good idea. The problem is that the health agencies, pharmaceutical companies, etc., they want you to be sick. They make more money if you're sick. They want you to consume products on an economic basis. The reason, for example, why the FDA's food pyramid was so carb heavy is that the United States was producing an enormous surplus of grain, so much that we couldn't give it away. And so to try to absorb that, the FDA was weaponized effectively in the 70s, 80s, and 90s to get people to buy more of the Wonder Bread. It turns out that wasn't a good idea. The dentistry industry, they liked it too because it created more cavities. We grow a shit ton of corn. We grow a shit ton of wheat. Also quite a bit of sorghum, actually. And there's too much of it. The domestic population can't even eat it all. So we send some of it as freebies over to Africa, keeping their agricultural industries suppressed. And the rest of it, of course, you admonish the public, you need to eat more bread. Not something that you need to be doing. You need more green vegetables and red meats. Why do you think I look so healthy? I'm headed on towards my 40s, dude. Do I look like it? I'm well aware of the fact that I'm not conventionally attractive, but I'm also well aware of the fact that I'm not aging particularly quickly. Let's see. Last weekend, I mean, this is the left that I knew from the late 90s and early 2000s. Shit, I meant to say this isn't the left that I knew. I mean, the left that I knew was bashing Bush and calling him a war criminal. I know, I remember that fondly. Back when the left pretended to be anti-war. The man behind the screen, Morning Sticks, interrupting the politics to say my first novella is published. It's titled In the Giant Shadow by D.S. Brandt on Amazon. Digital up now, hardcover and paperback available in a few days. I'd love to read it. Sounds good. In the Giant Shadow. Good title. Bystander syndrome. Concerning Infowars, Alex Jones said they cannot sell Infowars because it's been public domain a long time. Also, the trustee was only supposed to take IW with judge approval, which did not happen. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening. We're going to talk about that in a minute after I get to these. Pagan Gorilla. Hope you're doing well, Sticks. What do you think about the Asatru Folk Assembly? I'm thinking of joining. Clank. I believe they are woke. I've actually got one of their works over on the shelf next to me. It's a linguistic work, which I thought was great. Got it as part of a lot that I bought many, many years ago. And it's effectively like Norse linguistics, actually. Quite interesting. Castiel 2080, how many plates can you squat? What is your personal record? I want to see you compete in the Vermont State Fair and get a gold medal. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I am not a strong man. Dark, RFK Jr. will make McDonald's beef tallow fries great again. Yeah, I remember they used to use beef tallow, I think, in their fries back in the old days. Then they decided that margarine was more healthy for you, which was a big mistake. Yeah, gunk up your intestines and get heart disease. Total War Guy, an underrated fact with Trump appointing Pete and Tulsi is they are both currently serving in the National Guard or Reserve, citizen soldiers. Exactly. Yeah, no, you should get more animal fat, more good greens, lots of like broccoli, asparagus, the good shit like that. Brussels sprouts, highly underrated. Just boil them and add a pinch of salt. That's all you need. And lots of fruits. If you want something sweet, eat a fucking grapefruit or something. Now we're going to get to Infowars. I don't 100% know exactly what's going on with this story, to tell the truth. The original report was that the Onion had bought Infowars, and indeed it appears that they entered the winning bid. But then we found out that their bid wasn't the highest. A judge has stepped in on the case and said, whoa, we need to look at this. And of course, Alex Jones is gone completely apeshit over the situation. I was on Infowars once. I think I was talking about the satanic panic, if I remember correctly. Had fun. I think Alex Jones seems like a nice guy. Look, he's an infotainer. So necessarily, when he gets on air, he's going to rant. He's going to get, red in the face and pump his fists and stuff like that. Because he's got to sell his product. He's got to make money. It's called making a living. That being said, though, he's willing to host people from a plethora of backgrounds. I mean, he fucking had me on. I'm Sticks, Hex, and Hammer 666. Most of his audience is core Christians. So he's more tolerant than the left. The reason why they're trying to crab hammer him is because he's so successful, and for no other purpose. They're trying to do the same to like Elon Musk and many other people right now. I enjoyed my time on Infowars talking to Alex Jones. Thought he's reasonably intelligent, he's well-spoken, and he's willing to have people on that don't necessarily agree with him on everything. Yeah, try and find a left-wing network that's willing to do that. Also, I think that the Onion might have done this just for clout. Like, the idea is, okay, they do the bid, they ram it through basically with some of the Sandy Hook families, and then they get name recognition. Because I think the Onion has gone bankrupt a couple of times in the last decade as well. And I don't even have a problem with the Onion. Like, some of their stuff is hilarious. Now, I remember when I was back in high school, there was a book in the library, and it was like a fake compilation of Onion stories. And it tacked throughout time all the way back to like the fucking 1700s or something, which the Onion wasn't around back then, obviously. But it had all sorts of crazy jokes and stuff like that. I thought it was hilarious. And I remember there was one funny incident. Let me tell a little bit of a story here, because we're going to try to go longer anyway today, so it doesn't matter. I knew this one girl in high school. This was sophomore year, I think. I won't name her name because, she probably wouldn't want to be associated with me, nor would anyone from my graduating class other than Nick. Anyway. I had the Onion there, and there was one picture of a dude with his cock out, literally. He was literally just naked there, and I can't remember what the article was. It was something about manhood or something. And I handed her the book because, we were kind of friendly, and, she was a chucklehead like me. But then she turned to that particular page. She's like, oh, shit. And it was pretty funny. Back in the day, The Onion definitely was fucking hilarious, just to be clear. Give credit where credit is due. Last weekend, on the subject of them being can't wait to be irradiated, I believe they think themselves to be invincible because they have a D next to their name. Apparently. Texan Patrick Doge needs to combine USDA, FDA, etc. under HHS so RFK Jr. can unfuck all of them at once. That would be a lot to do. That would be a lot of work. Focus on one at a time. Hope for a second administration. Last weekend, I believe if the Democrats truly want to go back to being popular again, at least with the youth, they need to start ditching the Cheneys and Bushes and go back to the progressive values. I don't know that that would work either, honestly. Wooly Willy. Yeah, Wooly Willy. I remember that. Ohio bro here. DeWine is getting term limited for governor in 26. Do you think we can elect someone who isn't a neocon finally? Any ideas for someone good to run? I've got no fucking clue. Ohio. I guess maybe you run Kasich or something. I'm just joking. King of Biltong is here. Speaking of that, let's get to our sponsors here because we're going to do a long Bants video. And so let me just knock that out of the park. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills, which I take every single day. Lion's mane, Saga, turkey tail, reishi, they've got it all. It is neuroregenerative, in my opinion. This is just my anecdote. Disclaimer, I'm not giving you medical advice. But I've been taking them for quite some time, and I've noticed neural benefits, absolutely. So they seem to work as intended. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, important for people like myself who love to read, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons. They've got the Ouroboros logo on them mainly. A little bit of Clank, a little bit of 10.2, you know, and also glassware available now as well. BiltongUSA.com. King of Biltong is over there. He's peddling his meat. He wants you to eat his sweet meat. You probably should, by the way. I've got some in the mini fridge in the bedroom, and I chomp on that every other day. And you stuff it down. It's great for when you're going outside and you have to do something, especially the cabanasi because it comes in stick form. Also, Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts are available there as well. We've got Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Stick, Sex, and Hammer hats. Ouroboros logo off to the side. Smaller Ouroboros with the wings in the middle, with Stick, Sex, and Hammer below it. Several colors are available. And there was the one-off with the camo. I think that was a misprint, but it looked pretty cool, so I'm hoping they bring that back. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket, which is great because then you can grow these, and apparently they'll last through Thanksgiving. These guys are still hard as fuck. Yeah, there's no signs of rotting or anything like that, so probably still be edible in a few days. You know, it's going to be delicious. Also, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer soaps are available. There's the blue bar and the pink bar. I've already mentioned the ingredients. I washed with some earlier. websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer knives. Yes, they've got the Ouroboros logo on them. Metal straws, which are important. Save a turtle, then go to New Orleans and eat turtle soup. And that's the best thing you can do. And go to the aquarium and pet the stingrays. Yes, you can actually pet the stingrays. It's quite something. I should upload that video, by the way. Also, we've got beanies available as well, an homage to Tim Pool, among other things. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com, where you can get this. Clank coffee, and it is delicious. I've got several others available, but again, they won't last long because, you know, you got to pound 6 or 7 cups a day for better health. Also, teas available. Get some of the Healer or the Buccaneer. Those are the two best ones. I've tried several of their teas, but those two stand out as being absolutely fantastic. Fully organic, I believe, non-GMO as well. Herbal Tisane teas, the Healer. Caffeine-free, floral, minty hint of creme. I didn't get the creme so much, but it's definitely a little bit on the minty side. Might have catnip in it, actually. I'm not 100% sure. Delicious nonetheless. Last beacon, on the topic of the Russian asset talking point, this is why I want to smack the Democrats across the face and make them say, enough with that talking point. Yeah, they've pretty much run that into the ground. Nobody even takes it seriously anymore. Lord of the Ree, they shove they hand up the anus and eat the poo. It is a sickness. Why is Barack Obama sending this kind of filth to Africa? I know exactly what we're referring to. They eat the poo. They put their fist into the anus, and it is very painful, but they take drugs, so they enjoy it. RJB, on a weight loss journey today, I'm on my walk with Clank Nation. That's what I'm talking about. Although usually when I go out into the nature and I walk around or hike or something, I tune everything else out. I don't know. I don't like the only reason I bring my phone with me when I'm hiking is, oh shit, a bear just mauled me and my legs are broken and I need to call for help. Or, hey, look at this mushroom. I need to take a picture of it. I'm old school. I can't help it. I'm an old man now. Look at me. God, I'm decrepit. I look like Nancy Pelosi. Oh shit. Robert Manley, Sticks, do you think Barron has lost his cherry? Dude, I'm not gonna fucking address that. I don't care and I don't know. Andrew Sobel, hey Sticks, excellent job on election night. You kept me sane, but I was so nervous when you went to bed before it was official. Thanks, ma'am. Yeah, no, the thing is that I knew that it was going to be called for Trump. So I went to bed and I had a nice sleep because towards the end, you probably remember on the stream, I was out of it. I was starting to literally nod off because I was so fucking tired. And I figured, okay, I know who's going to win. I'm just going to go to bed. Bad Dragonite. Stephen King is leaving X because it's too toxic. Yeah. And he wrote the Long Walk and The Stand and, Desperation and things like that. He's one to talk. Marflebark. Long-time listener, first-time super chatter. Please tell the person that asked about Asatru groups to avoid them like the plague. They treat Norse paganism as German Christianity and consider Vanatru and Roktru heretics. Yes, I did notice an element of wokeness with the Asatru folk assembly. Alexander Bakos. Hey, Sticks, I read on Notice today, Thune sold himself behind the scenes to the GOP by saying he is full steam ahead on Trump's mandate, much to the surprise of other neocons. Do you think Trump is negotiating behind the scenes? Cheers. Yes, there's no doubt that he's doing that. It would be bizarre if he wasn't. He learned from his first term as president, and I think he's going to do a better job this time, which means you're going to have to do a lot more back behind the doors dealing effectively. Doesn't really have a choice. He's not an emperor. RJB, unfortunately, I live in Manhattan. I need to tune out traffic and bum screams. I should be in New York City not long from now because I want to go on Lev's show actually in person. Maybe we can meet up. I don't know. I don't drink anymore, but I can still eat like a motherfucker. I'm assuming that there's some crazy shit in Manhattan. Spike 11117. According to Mark Dice, Gates AG is a troll and will take Rubio's Senate seat. Also, Thune is not a neocon, but more of an opportunist. Thoughts? The former, I think, is possible. That might be their goal. I think that Thune is a neocon, but he's going to have to parlay with Trump in order to get anything done. Texan Patrick P. Clank. Does that stand for certain libertarians are naughty knights? Of what is a better acronym? No, it's literally just you leave the spoon in the cup when you're drinking. Supposedly, that's an East European thing, and my mom does that because of her partially Slovak origin or something like that, but I don't have any confirmation whether that's true or not. Yeah, I'd like to go to New York City. We'll have a Clank get-together. That'd be fun. RJ, I know a few great sushi spots. Yeah, if I can get whale sushi, I would love to try that. Inflation is up, unfortunately. 2.6, I believe. What was it? Yeah, 2.6 overall. Anyway, they're going to blame this on Trump. Let me make a little bit of a prediction. Inflation is measured year over year. Most people erroneously think it's a month-over-month metric. So if you have, like, let's say 3.1%, and then the next month it's 2.9%, you think, oh, things are improving. But you have to match that month's inflation up to the prior month. Was it rising? Was it falling? What was it at? What's going to happen is that over the last fiscal year, inflation generally went linear. That is, that it didn't really budge very much. It had come down from its prior highs. If you therefore are using a year-over-year metric, what's going to happen is necessarily, if inflation is indeed linear, which it seems to be at least at the moment, it will look like it's rising. Technically speaking, it is, but it's linear. It has nothing to do with policy. It's simply a year-over-year metric. What they're going to do, therefore, the legacy media covered for Biden for years over Bidenflation and how terrible it was. But that Bidenflationary spike has now gone linear. Therefore, if for the course of a year you don't have any more spiking going on, it's going to look like inflation is actually tacking upwards because it's a year-over-year metric. Well, it cooled down in the last year, so necessarily, if it's linear, it's tacking upwards, only by a fraction of a percent or something like that. Trump is going to have to deal with this, and he's going to have to deal with it quick. He's going to have to dump cold water on the economy, probably. Otherwise, he's going to get blamed for excessive inflation. Oh my God, it's at 3% and stuff like that. And people are dumb enough that they don't understand how inflation is calculated, and they will be taken in by it. Texan Patrick, I know, Clank, having enjoyed your content for about 10 years. Just a dad joke that was not very funny. Clank with the sword when you have no spoon. Clank. Certainly returns to naughty nights. Yeah, I can't think of an acronym for Clank. I do get the reference, though. By the way, I've got to say, absolutely Clank approved. The winter edition of sugar-free Red Bull. It tastes just like High C. I actually have a childhood memory. At one point, I was with my parents when I was like, I don't know, 4 or something. And there was a vending machine outside of a closed-up bank in Brattleboro, Vermont. That's where my dad grew up. And I can remember I got High C there, the Tropical Punch High C. Loved it as a kid. That was back when I ate sugary things. This tastes fucking identical without any sugar in it. I don't know how they accomplished it, but it's goddamn delicious. Thankfully, it's widely available. Wish I could get a whole crate of it. You need meat in a can, dude. Inflation. I've got plenty of cans of meat, mostly from Japan. I have seal meat, bear meat, boar meat, elk meat, whale meat. Yes, I have eaten whale. So I want to go to Japan. You can get all that cool stuff. Just a second here. Ooh, it looks like it's glitching. No, okay, never mind. Hello, Dave. I make pemmican. I don't need to can it. I've tried pemmican. It is very good. Look, it's not going to be as good as Anton's biltong, but if you're going to get some form of jerky, pemmican is definitely where it's at. Capsule seal meat, chuck that. No, it's good, actually. It's very, very fatty, but it's delicious. They season it with the same sauce that they use, like if you've had sushi and you've had eel, you know the sweet and salty sauce that they use on it. It's partially soy-based. Don't worry, it doesn't have, xenoestrogens. Soy sauce is fermented, but they use basically the same sauce. It's delicious. I had grilled horse in France, says Lemon Curd Zero. I've always wanted to try horse. I think it's illegal in the United States. Just like French cheeses. I've eaten lots of those, trust me. Lord of the Ree, High C is the goat. Whenever the alchemical process is behind the orange, I don't care if it's delicious. It's like candy corn in a glass. Clank. Now, thankfully, it doesn't taste like candy corn or I wouldn't be drinking it. But this tastes exactly like High C did back in the day. It's exactly the same flavor profile. It's exactly the same effervescence. It's exactly the same smell. This is basically sugar-free High C. Literally couldn't get better. I thought they gave horse meat USDA clearances, Arma Kevin. Not to my knowledge. I thought it was illegal in the United States to consume horse meat, generally. I could be wrong. I'd like to try it. I guess it's a thing in parts of Europe. I've eaten all sorts of weird shit. I've eaten head cheese snacks. That's from Eastern Europe mainly. I've eaten buffalo testicles, kangaroo, shark. Shark's not that exotic, and also I didn't really like it that much. Sort of like imagine pork, but a little bit tougher and a little bit fishy. It's not exactly the greatest thing in the world. I don't think I'd bother to eat it again. I've had turtle. Finally, when I was in New Orleans, I had turtle soup. Honestly, I think it was delicious. Yeah, no, I want to go to Japan because, they have literally everything for your meal. Anything you could ever want. The ultimate food paradise. Sounds good to me. And I don't just want to see Tokyo. Got a few friends in Japan, actually, mainly expats. I'd love to see Tokyo, but I'd also love to see, the hinterlands. Apparently, there are a shit ton of bear attacks these days in Japan. They've been rising. It's now hundreds and hundreds per year. They've got the little Asian bears over there, but they're notoriously aggressive. And most people don't realize this, but much of Japan is actually very, very rural. It's mountainous and forested. There's a bunch of bears up there. And so people on the margins, they get attacked regularly. There was one, let me try to link this. Just a sec. Let's see. Yes, indeed. The Senkabetsu brown bear incident. Holy shit. You want to go down a rabbit hole? Here, I'm going to post this in chat. You go ahead and read that. I'm going to put it over on Rumble, yes, and then I'll put it on YouTube. Yeah, read that. Make sure that you do that late at night, right before you go to sleep. So you can see some crazy shit. It's a little bit weird. That was back in the early 20th century. Texan Patrick, Trump needs to revoke security clearance for almost everyone and only grant it to those whom he trusts, not those 51 BS artists. RE Hunter laptop equals Russian disinfo. I agree with it. Yeah, he should definitely revoke security clearances for some of these people, or just fire them outright as applicable. Let's go to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the archived link probably is still not working. In fact, I think this is what I archived. For some reason, it's not playing nice. That happens with the Wall Street Journal these days, too. That's why you almost never see articles from them. Los Angeles releases draft of sanctuary city ordinance. What they're trying to do is, before Trump is officially in office, they're trying to make Los Angeles a sanctuary city. It's just an extension of what I said before. Now, like with Nancy Pelosi's comments the other day on illegal immigration. Well, more people were coming under Trump than have come under Biden, which is for Pinocchios. It's completely false. The Democrats have not learned their lesson. If you think, okay, we just got defeated in a disastrous election cycle, why don't we double down on these same policies? I don't think that that's a good idea, but apparently the Democrats, at least at the state and local level, they believe that it is. Now, admittedly, if you're in the state of California, maneuvering to a sanctuary city, we will hashtag resist evil Donald Trump, probably makes sense for political purposes. Is this good for the federal level of the party structure? No. And here's the problem. The Democrats are bipolar. They have a federal structure, like a national level party, that is completely at odds with what's happening at the local and state level. This is different from the Republicans, where they've solidified. And that's because the Democrats have not undergone the full shift, politically speaking. They haven't had the same kind of turnover that the Republicans had as early as 2016. So this paradigm is ruled currently by the Republicans. Now, what will inevitably happen, probably not in 2018, I would say 2032 more likely, is that the Democrats will realize finally that those are winning issues. They'll take them, run with them, just like they did with Reagan in the Clinton era, and then they'll sprinkle welfare on them or something like that. That's what they'll do. They're gonna pull a 1990s again, which could be a good thing, by the way. Yeah, no, this one wasn't Cocaine Bear. This is just a bear that rampaged. Oh, goddamn. Look up the Wolf of Soissons sometime. Wolf of Soissons. Ha ha ha. This was in France. This is even more crazy. This is even crazier than the Beast of Gévaudan, yet it's barely more than a stub article. So I'm going to pop that in there. I got your back if you want weird animal lore. Been doing this for a number of years. By the way, for some reason, it looks like YouTube's chat over there is having a thrombo. Just a sec. Oh, well, I'm trying to figure it out. We're having a few technical difficulties because I'm a boomer. Yeah, the Wolf of Soissons was weird. It attacked, dozens of people. Now, normally you would figure, okay, this was a rabid animal because clearly from the descriptions it appears to be rabid, yet nobody got hydrophobia. That's very interesting now, isn't it? You would expect at least a couple of people to have been sickened by the animal, but they weren't. So I'm thinking that the animal probably was driven insane or was they had some mental problem. Drill, didn't you already do a video about the French werewolf? Yes, I've covered the Beast of Gévaudan. This is a different wolf, to be clear, contemporaneous to the same time period. The Beast of Gévaudan, in my opinion, was a lion. And it was kept by a noble. And at first, it was probably a little lion cub. And they're like, oh, it's so cute. And they impressed people at court with it. Then it got bigger. And they didn't realize how far they could jump. And then because of the laws at the time in France, with regards to repaying people who your animal has injured or killed, they covered it up. I think that the kingdom itself covered it up to save face, and the noble covered it up to save their ass. And then they finally killed the animal, but then realized, hell, we can't tell people that it was a lion. They're not even going to understand what this is because it doesn't come from France. And so then they went off and shot a couple of big wolves and stuffed them up. And basically the story of Brotherhood of the Wolf in part is correct. They would have done extensive taxidermy. By the way, my favorite movie of all time, Brotherhood of the Wolf, doesn't matter whether you get the dubbed or the subtitled version. I prefer the dubbed one, though, honestly. King of Biltong, we stream Friday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, shit-talking and cooking real food. Follow our channels on Rumble and YouTube. Look for Eat at Anton's and hit that follow. We streamed yesterday. See you Sunday. Yeah, no, the Beast of Gévaudan, if I had to guess, based on the descriptions, based on the hunting pattern, and based on the historical time period, was a lion. Specifically, a male lion, probably of fairly large proportions, had been raised in captivity, did not know how to hunt in the normal way, and then realized that humans are fucking retarded and decided to eat them. Lev Polyakov, reminder, I'm going live with Jason Georgiani from BTR New York City studio tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern on patreon.com/breaktherules. And a big announcement, Curtis Yarvin is coming to the studio Sunday. Nice. And I should be debating Armand next week. He had to reschedule. He had work to do. Jim Morrison, the 7-Eleven in Japan is amazing. You can eat there forever. The music options are endless. The guys all wear black and the women dress fashionably. Yeah, I can't wait to see Japan. Basically, here's my bucket list for foreign travel. I want to see Iceland just because it's fucking Iceland. I want to see Ireland because I always thought that that was a pretty looking country with a lot of history and stuff. Japan's on the list. And also the Philippines, because the Philippines looks fucking great. Vietnam. And then I would like to see Egypt. I don't know how safe it is for travelers from the West, though, at the moment. Dragon soup. Clanker is our word, but friends of clankers can say clanka. Exactly. Clanka without the hard R. Harris Surrogate says Joe Biden gave a big fuck you to fellow Democrats with Kamala endorsement. There is that now famous little clip of Joe Biden with the press, harassing him the whole time. And he turns around and he does the shit-eating grin thing. Based on that, based on the timing of his endorsement of Kamala, and based on the obvious animus between his wife and Kamala Harris, I think that Joe Biden may plausibly have decided to backstab the DNC, which is hilarious, actually, because they backstabbed him first. So that's definitely a manly move, if it's true. I don't think we'll ever get corroboration, but I have a feeling that some historian, like 50 years from now, is going to dig up some sort of letter or private sort of communication. And they're going to say, well, you know, Joe really did throw the race. He decided to fuck the DNC in the ass. I think that it was backstabbing. I think that Jill and Harris hated one another. But I think that Joe Biden, he rose above that sort of course, he's going to stand by his lady. But I think that he rose above it and he said, look, the Democratic Party is effectively forcing me aside. They're treating me like trash after all I've done for them. What have you done for me lately? Well, okay. They're commanding me to stand down. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to throw a wrench in their plans. I'm going to make sure that Kamala Harris is the nominee. Now, also, there was no choice. As I pointed out, in a couple of states, if Kamala wasn't the nominee, it would have been impossible for the nominee to even get the delegates. Because a couple of those states, you had already passed through that time period, and it was no longer possible unless the person was already on the ticket to begin with. But I think that wasn't the main reason. I really do believe that Joe Biden decided to stab the Democratic Party in the back. And he knew what he was doing. So if nothing else, maybe this is just a fantasy. I like to believe that everyone has at least one redeeming quality. And since I can't think of any particular policy that Joe Biden advanced that I agree with, that I think was helpful, maybe this is just wishful thinking. But I would love to believe that Joe Biden went to bed the next night chuckling to himself about the fact that he fucked the Democratic Party in the ass. I would like to believe that. Call it wishful thinking. I don't give a damn. Let's see. Texan Patrick Sticks, have you ever read Democracy in America by Alexis de Tocqueville? No, I actually haven't. I don't think I've read any of his works. Come to think of it, yeah, I don't think I've read any of his works. Probably an oversight on my end. Yeah, imagine you're Joe Biden. You've been president for years. You know, come on, man, I'm going to take him out behind the woodshed, make him do push-ups and all that strongman bullshit. But you're old and feeble. And the Democrats finally, you know, they come to you and they tell you that you're old and feeble. Stand the fuck down, which is exactly what happened. That part is canonical. We know that that happened. They went to Biden and they effectively told him to fuck off. And you're like, well, I'm a strong man now, ain't I? And your wife, by the way, is leaning on your shoulder saying, yes, dear, you are. She's a very stand by your man kind of woman. It's very, very painfully obvious. And while Jill and Joe, I don't think really like the Harrises, I think they grew to dislike the Democratic Party more. And so they decided to really fuck things up. They knew that Harris was going to lose. They knew that she would lose. There was no possibility of her winning. Look, I was giving Donald Trump 90% and then like 95 right before the election because I'm like, unless they really screw with this shit, there's no possibility of her winning. Based on the polls, based on just general reality, just looking at the situation, it was impossible for her to win. Oh, Bummer sunk his own ship with the chef aboard. Yeah, we never got any closure on that particular story now, did we? I wonder why. Lord Gonzo, to be fair, he signed the CHIPS Act. Yeah, nobody cares, though. No, the thing is that Biden didn't do anything meaningful for the nation. He was basically a do-nothing president. And Kamala was a do-nothing vice president. She was even more do-nothing than him. But when it came down to it, at the 11th hour, when they decided to throw him under the wheels of the train, what did Biden do? He turned around and he kicked their ass. It's pretty funny, actually. Seasoned with love. Oh, God, thankfully I'm married above me. He usually doesn't beat me. I see the most bizarre comments sometimes in chat. You know, I'm sitting there talking, so I don't exactly know the train of the conversation, and so sometimes I get confused. I'm like, what the hell? 22 pesticides show links to prostate cancer. Yeah, 4 of those pesticides also show links to prostate cancer death. If you get cancer, sometimes you die, so I'm assuming that that link is self-evident. The findings can't say for certain that these pesticides cause prostate cancer, says John Leppert, a urologist at Stanford University School of Medicine. It's unknown whether the people who were diagnosed with prostate cancer in Leopard's data were exposed to the pesticide. So you're going to need more testing. The study is really best at finding the potential pesticides that may be linked with prostate cancer, he says, so that we could narrow down the list of things that need to be further studied. I would think that any sort of poison that's generally designed, as pesticides are, to destroy life would have a negative impact on other forms of life. Spray a pesticide on your field, it's meant to kill ants. Well, then all the butterflies die. Well, that's rather sad, but it was also fairly predictable. Happens all the time. You know, what the fuck was it called? There was that one, and I think the Ramones were exposed to it. Have you ever heard of all the Ramones are dead? They had like a filming set, and there was some sort of pesticide or chemical there, and I can't remember exactly which one it was, but then they all started dying. And they were all fairly young when they died too. What was the name of the pesticide? Somebody in chat will be able to tell me. Somebody will be able to tell me. Yeah, Roundup. I think it was Roundup. Yeah. Yeah, they had a bunch of it on set or something, and I think fucking what's his name? The dude who has Parkinson's, he now shakes all the time. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. He was on Back to the Future and stuff like that. Glyphosate. I think that was the one. Yes. And they're thinking that he got, Parkinson's as the result of that as well. Yes, Fox. Michael J. Fox. Apparently, my mom met him once. He was he was in Woodstock, a popular tourist destination when I was a kid. He went into the Mountain Creamery and she got to shake his hand and stuff. These days, shaking his hand is a little bit harder. My apologies for perhaps a loaded joke. But yeah, glyphosate and shit like that was killing people all the time. I think it's still available, unfortunately. Total War Guy. Biden's foreign policy failures in the Middle East led to 3 killed and 40 wounded soldiers in a drone attack in January. We need Trump. Yeah, that's led to a lot of injuries and deaths. Sumerian. Clank Sticks. I'm headed to Peru tomorrow. I am jealous being here in the far northern climate that I'm in. I wish I could go to Peru right now. Also good food. Anaho Dave. Well, this sucks. 2 kidney stones in 2 days. One is moving right now. Oh, that sucks. I've pounded myself with energy drinks. Supposedly these cause kidney stones. No problems here. Yeah, you got to realize we're surrounded by all sorts of weird chemicals all of the time. That's why RFK Jr.'s HHS is probably a good idea. BW, what do you think about the Alex J persecution? I think it's clearly lawfare. Assessing somebody at over $1 billion for damages over a defamation case made no sense whatsoever. Made no sense. They clearly wanted to punish him. The only purpose was to punish and humiliate Alex Jones, but now their legal case is a bit up in the air and it's not exactly clear what the hell is going on. I guess we'll have to see. Joe, have you heard the story of the Wizard of Oz? All the actors died because they used asbestos for snow and the face paint had some chemical in it. Yes, the original Tin Man got sick because they literally had lead paint that they were caking on him. I think the second actor that took over, they did something different. But there were a lot of suicides and weird shit linked to that. And Judy Garland had a mental breakdown. Ended up on drugs and shit like that and went to the asylum. That was one hell of a cursed movie. Soak veggies in baking soda for hours before to try and get rid of pesticides. No, you just need to scrub them off. It's not necessary to use anything else. Yeah, Judy Garland had a lot of problems as a result of her mistreatment. They really fucked her up. By the way, I think the ruby slippers were recovered not long ago and went up for auction. Pretty much everyone that was in the Wizard of Oz actually was cursed. Joe, Alex Jones for the head of Disinformation Governance Board. Yeah. Jackie Cronin. Morning, Sticks. Do you think Trump will be certified in December? No, he'll be certified in January. Well, he'll take office in January. They'll certify him. BW, his only crime, taking his shirt off. Will Trump help? No, there is no help for anyone. Sauce Boss, Trump stated involving SCOTUS on term limits since the Uniparty would never reasonably vote against its own interests. Thoughts on how that would work and could it work at all? No, it can't. You would need an act of Congress, ironically, to impose term limits on Congress. The courts can't unilaterally decide that there's some legal impetus for that existing. There would be no cause. There'd be no justification for it. It will not happen. By the way, I actually disagree with Trump on this. I don't think that we need term limits in Congress. I think that we need to allow people to vote for whoever they fucking want to. If that means that they vote for another Strom Thurmond, it's none of my business. Cooking Inferno, thoughts on Trump ordering Levine and Milley to be drummed out as in the official ceremony? It would humiliate them and send a message to the others who would be scared shitless. Oh, I would love to see that. I hope that such a thing happens. Yeah, we need to get rid of the woke and unqualified people in the military as quickly as possible. That's another thing that Trump can do in his first, 90 days. Joe, it's tripping watching the snow scene and thinking this scene right here is what killed these people. Asbestos on the poor girl's face. Yeah, asbestos, lead paint, multiple little people killing themselves. By the way, the famous hanging scene where they're like, we're off to see the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and they're all gallivanting down the yellow brick road. That actually is not Munchkin hanging themselves. That's actually an emu that got loose on the set. And if you look close in the high def version, you can actually see this. It's an emu. But it was funny to think about hanging Munchkins. Several of them did kill themselves, however. I think there were 4 or 5 fucking suicides on set or something like that. Bystander syndrome. Why do movies get cursed anyways? What about Sonichu necklace? Yeah, the Sonichu curse appears to be real. Chris Chan endorsed Kamala Harris, and look what happened to her. This has happened 3 or 4 times now. Thinking that dude, he's got some darkness around him or some shit. I don't know what the hell is going on there. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Exorcist is another example of a supposedly cursed movie. Jefferson, your mom hates whites. My dad is white, so I don't think that, and her son is white, Supposedly only mostly white, though. Supposedly I'm 1/16th Abenaki. We're still not sure about that. The Sumerian, we need mental competency tests for Congress. Yes, but who administers them? The problem is, can you really create a test that is totally politically unbiased? Not necessarily. You can try your best, but it's going to be difficult. I think just let people vote for who they want to vote for. I mean, if somebody tells me that I'm not allowed to vote for somebody, it makes me more likely to support them. I think that a lot of people agree with that basic premise. I mean, we were told that about Trump. He's unqualified. He's extreme. He's a felon, rapist, all of this other stuff. Who did we just elect to the presidency? Yeah, there are lots of places that I want to visit. It's just a matter of having time to do so, with my bizarre schedule. Thankfully, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was Blair that got her back broken. It was the mother. Who got her back broken in the Exorcist scene? I do remember that. They actually kept recording. So that's actual real pain and screaming that you're seeing. No, it wasn't. Oh, it was Linda Blair, yeah. Huh. I know there was another instance of a back injury there, too. Yeah, The Exorcist was one weird movie. Yeah, I guess there are a number of injuries on that set. And then the dude who played the priest, he died not long after, I think. Actually, I think both of the priests died prematurely, fairly shortly thereafter. Oh God. Yeah, now we're gonna enter on the DDT argument over there. I'm not going to bother getting into that. I am pro DDT. I think if we can extinguish malaria, it'll save a lot of people. I don't care if a few eagles die. I'm sorry, I just don't give a shit. Let's see. Do we have anything additional on RCP, or are we just shooting the shit here for a few minutes? It's Trump's transition, and he calls the shots from RCP. The cabinet doesn't matter. Haha, yeah, talk about a COPA title there. Trump versus the Washington elites. Yeah, I'm going to hold most of that over till tomorrow, I think. Take care, King of Biltong. Yeah, as far as DDT, my theory is that it had nothing to do with the DDT, with the eggshells being supposedly weaker. I think it was lead contamination. You've got to understand it's not long after the DDT is discontinued that you also have like clean air, clean water, and green up and shit like that. I think it was other contaminants. The DDT was effectively nothing more than a scapegoat for the fact that condors and eagles and so forth were in decline. I don't think it was the DDT. It's still, by the way, produced and deployed. It's only produced in one factory in India, and they've talked about ending that, I think, around 2026 or so. Bystander syndrome, Voight-Kampff test for Wokies, aka Blade Runner, needed. That'd be fun. JKJR, you support DDT. Unsubscribe. Haha. Yes, I support the use of DDT. Absolutely. SC Woods, multiple points. Ruby Slippers, multiple instances. One in Smithsonian, Wizard of Oz. Buddy Epson, later Beverly Hillbillies, was allergic to the Tin Man aluminum makeup. Yes, Buddy Epson. Thankfully, Gilligan's Island was not cursed. They seem to do all right. John Andrew, worried about Inauguration Day. Didn't we already have a president shot taking the oath of office? I don't think so. Are you thinking of Garfield maybe? Or McKinley? Was there, everyone can weigh in. Was there a president that was shot upon trying to take the oath of office? No, Garfield was shot by a disgruntled person while I think that he was doing his trick where he could write forwards and backwards in two languages at the same time. It was just a little bit on the nuts side. I think you might be thinking of McKinley. I'm not 100% sure. AS, Maori disrupt and disrespect their government. NDNs here are good and true and elect Trump. Oh, Driel, firearms save much more than 1 million people per year. Just the fact that populations are armed saves tens of millions more people. Yeah, was it McKinley? It was McKinley. Theodore Roosevelt, he was shot giving a speech. By the way, he took it almost in his lung, continued his speech, basically brushed it off, then he went to the doctor. Lincoln, of course, was shot in a theater. Bush almost got grenaded. Trump was shot, turned his head at the last moment and survived. By the way, again, it's still the presidential assassination prophecy, I suppose. Let's see. And then Reagan was shot, but he wasn't giving an oath of office or anything like that. JFK was shot through Dallas, and then his brother was shot. What a coincidence, by the way. I kind of like banting more than I like even covering the news articles. It's fun to just look at chat and then respond to random stuff. Yeah, no, Lincoln wasn't shot taking the oath of office. It was Garfield, McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, Lincoln, of course. And then there, of course, Reagan, Bush almost, not really shot, but, you know, somebody tossed a live grenade on stage, but forgot to pull the pin for some reason. And then Trump. Yes, Texas Patrick, Papa Bush threw up on the Japan leader back in the day. Yes, there was one instance in which Herbert Walker Bush puked up on the Japanese prime minister and then passed out. And everyone was worried briefly that he had been poisoned and that it was an assassination plot and people were going crazy. And then it turned out, nope, he just, sushi doesn't agree with him. I assure you, if I ever go to Japan, I will not puke up on the prime minister because my stomach not only can handle sushi, it favors it. God damn, it's delicious. I wish I had, you can get sea urchin sushi. I've never seen it available anywhere in the United States, but it does exist. I really want to try it when I'm in Japan. I would like to try fugu, yes. I'll try anything once, and if you want the opposite of a food desert, then definitely Japan is the place to go. And not just in Tokyo. Although I will say being in the largest city on Earth would be kind of fun. I don't really like cities, but it looks clean and well organized, which is typically Japanese, so I will definitely enjoy that. Yeah, everyone who's ever, Anaho Dave and Pre-Cuban, everyone who has talked about sea urchin sushi has said that it's disgusting. I've never seen it, though. I live in small town America. It's not available here. Maybe when I go down to see Lev, maybe it's available in New York City or something like that. I don't know. Joe, George W. almost got decapitated by a size 11 loafer. Yeah, I got to give Bush credit. He was dodging those shoes like a motherfucker. OMG puppies. Harrison died of pneumonia after giving his inaugural address in bad weather. Oh, okay, so it was Henry Harrison we're talking about. Why am I the only person who cannot obtain urchin sushi? I'll try literally anything once. Thinking I want to go to, what is it? Fucking Sardinia, I think it is. They got some sort of cheese there that's technically banned that they let ferment with maggots. They think that it cures infertility or something. I have a feeling that's just to get people to eat it, by the way. It's manly. Fucking eat it, kid. But I'd love to try that. Texan Patrick, how is it that Ross Ulbricht has Life Without Parole and John Hinckley is out making shitty music? Oh, I fucking hate it too. Not only is Hinckley out there allowed to make his music, it is clearly still romantically directed at Jodie Foster. Listen to the goddamn lyrics. Listen to the things that he's saying. He's still goddamn obsessed. If it weren't for the court order, he'd be at her house right now. Yeah, there's some sort of cheese that they have in Sardinia, I think, and it's like they literally let it ferment and rot with maggots, and then the maggots process it, and then they eat the cheese. I have a feeling that at some point, simply in a time of hunger, they had like a bunch of cheese and it got maggoty. And then the dudes there, because they're like, oh shit, you know, we have nothing else to eat. We have to eat this cheese and it sucks. They probably told the younger males, hey, look, this will make you strong as a buck or something like that. And so everyone was eating it and pretending that it was a manly thing to do. I have a feeling that's where that developed, but I'd still like to try it. I have a cast iron stomach, though, so I'll eat pretty much anything at least once. There are some things that disagree with me. I can't eat runza, for example. I'm not a huge fan of quiche. And I don't like guava fruit, actually, or persimmons. Joe, sea urchin tastes very fishy, almost rotten. Sounds good to me. Textured Puma, watching Blonde's new show. Nothing but black pills and some glowy guys suggesting a manga party. 0 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. You and Blonde in the Belly of the Beast? Didn't see that. I don't know. I like her content. She does seem to be a little bit black-pilled lately, but she's still a good content creator. Ray Guitard, what's your favorite vehicle? I would like to get a Jeep, like a military-looking Jeep, one with the 2 doors, the green paint, the whole 9 yards. That or a 1980s hearse. Those are sort of my ideas of cool vehicles. Either that or something that can go from 0 to 200 in 2 seconds. All right, everyone. Here's my last video. I've affixed wings to this vehicle, and here's an off-ramp. So, you know, we're just gonna pray about it. But yeah, a Jeep, like a military-style Jeep, a hearse. If I couldn't have those as just like vanity vehicles, I guess I'd just get some little compact car, basically. You know, that'd be great. Something that's easy to parallel park. That would be good for me because I'm not good at parallel parking. Can I do it? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Fuck no. The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Yeah, Don Knotts is great. My name is Stixo, and this is the Sky Jump. Yeah, all right, I'm going to drive it as fast as I can out of the back of this plane, and I don't have a parachute. Bye. That would be funny. I was chuckling the other day. It'd be funny if you wanted to off yourself, tie a rope around your cock, and then jump off of a tall building, but first tell everyone down below, hey, look at me. I've got a weird sense of humor. You may have noticed this, but then again, you probably know my username, so you're probably not surprised. I've seen some people lately complaining that I say weird shit, and I'm like, God damn, you obviously weren't on this channel back in the 2000s. Holy shit. Yeah, Driel, the other car that I got before was a Toyota Avalon, and runs really well. Yeah, is great, actually. But it's an older school kind of like it's from the affordable luxury era that was common in the late 2000s. So parallel parking it is a little bit on the difficult side because it's a little bit on the larger side. No, Jefferson, Sticks actually did go to jail. Not almost, actually did. Weird experience. No, I'm thinking a Jeep. Because if you get one of the foreshortened Jeeps, okay, it's going to be shorter than a sedan. That's good. 4-wheel drive in this particular climate, that's good. It looks cool. That's always good. And if you're getting an older model, you're not going to pay that much. I'm not willing to spend 50, 60 fucking $1,000 on a new vehicle. I'll go to the lot and I'll get something that's used. I figure if it's got 100,000 miles on it, it just means that it's capable of going 100,000 miles. Let's see if we can get to 200,000, you know? I prefer older vehicles. Anyways, I think I'm going to go offline now. I thank you for your sea urchin sushi suggestions. I will be trying that in the future. I'm going to do the best that I can. But I've got more leaves to rake and like half a dozen other things that I've got to do. At some point, I got to get to tea time as well because I've got, you know, the jam and bean. I've got one of these open. He sent me a couple of these. So I got to get some healer tea. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll be going to Japan in the future. It's definite. Unless I'd like Kiel or something like that in the immediate future. I do intend to go and visit Japan. Maybe I'll get attacked by a bear. That'd be funny. You imagine the way that I go out, it'd be Steve Irwin-ish. The way I go out is I'm hiking on the edge of a mountain in Japan and a bear decides to come and maul me and rip my throat out or something. That would be, yeah, I can see that happening. Pumpkin Firecrafts, happy Friday. Our buy two, get one 50% off now includes most collections. See site for details. Shipping rates have also been adjusted and free shipping on orders over $100. Cool. No pumpkin fire. I managed to read it out. But yes, I will go offline now. And of course, on the weekends, I don't stream. Next week, I have a debate. We're not exactly sure which day or time on Lev's broadcast, Break the Rules podcast. By the way, go and subscribe. And I'll be debating Armand, specifically on Trump's second term. I've debated him twice before, so it'll be interesting. He's fun to talk to. And then, of course, Monday starts and we get more news. But I have to do jury duty, actually, fairly soon, which is absolutely hilarious. That's on next Wednesday. So on those days, the schedule might be a little bit shaky. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen because I've never been on a jury before. Hopefully they don't decide to include me in the draw, but that would be absolutely hysterical. Should get a shirt that says jury nullification for the for that, but I don't have time to have one printed up, so it's all good. That's about all. Peace out.